Right, so this is Danny Lewis, and welcome to the first Collaborate and Learn session. On the line, I've got Steve Reed, aka Blackwax. So welcome, Steve.
Evening.
So the concept here is that I'm going to be hooking up with certain people every few weeks to try and collaborate on a track, and I'm going to be doing some sort of teaching instruction stuff as we go, because for me, one of the things that I think is that it's very easy to pick up the basics for free on the web. It's really when you start collaborating with someone that you're going to start learning some really good stuff. So Steve, you've put some tunes out already, haven't you? Can you tell us a bit about what you've been doing?
Yeah, I started producing around 4, maybe 5 years ago. Had about 6 releases out so far on different labels.
Okay, can you just quickly, whilst we're talking, I'm going to get some stuff up on the web. So what have you got? Have you got something up on TrackSource, for example, or something like that?
If you go to my SoundCloud page,
right.
all my current releases are up there and some edits, and each track has a link to TrackSource or iTunes or Beatport.
Okay, let me take a look.
So there's like a central location, as it were.
Right. So what are you under? You Blackwax?
Yep. Or you can go to my website. They're on there too, which is www.blackwax.net.
Okay, that's cool. So everybody else can check that out as well. One of the things that I want to do with these sessions is to really help out anybody that I'm working with as well. So with the promotion and stuff. So. Okay, Steve, I'm just having a look here. So there's some bits and pieces. How have you found it with the releases? Firstly, was it obviously an enjoyable thing to get some stuff out? Were you pleased when your first release went out?
Pleased and slightly shocked, if I'm honest. I didn't think I was ready, but people were generally saying they really liked it, and I got a few offers from labels, and it just went from there, really.
Okay, just looking here, some remixes and stuff. Are these sort of bootleg mixes that you've done for yourself? The Jazz Nova, the Z Bias, or are these ones that have actually been released?
They're edits.
They're edits. Okay, yeah, so kind of like DJ specials kind of thing. Exactly. Yeah. All right, cool. And there's some remixes here. What about original tracks? You got anything that's your own composition?
I did a track with Powder Soul. It was a collaboration with a vocalist called Adiola Ranson.
Okay.
That came out on Tone Control Records, and we actually wrote the song together.
Great. And where is that? Is that here? Can we ever listen to that? Shall I play something?
That should be on there. If not, it'll be on TrackSource.
Right, I'm just looking at these. All right, tell you what, out of what we've got here... Oh, here we go. Is that the one? Black Powder? Adiola Ranson. Right, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen. Okay, it's sounding really good. So tell me, Steve, where do you think your kind of skills are lacking at the moment? Where do you think you want to head in terms of developing stuff?
More musicality, really. I lack a lot in music theory side of things. My mix downs have never been too great either. So
with this track here, was that mixed down by somebody, or was that?
Yes, we all went into London and we had it mixed down and mastered by Matthew Bandy from Limestone Recordings.
Oh, okay. And does he use Tony Economides' studio?
He does now, but at the time he didn't.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Because I heard that he was working there. I mean, Tony's kind of a bit of a legend, isn't he, on the kind of club scene? So, yeah, no, good. I mean, Matt's making some great music himself, isn't he? So.
Exactly, yeah.
All good.
It was a tricky one for me because it was a live bass player as well, and that's not something I'd ever experienced, sort of mixing down and mastering or even recording properly.
Okay, what would you say is the biggest challenge for you when it came to the live bass guitar? Was it EQing it, compressing it, working with it?
Compression I struggle with immensely.
Okay, it's very common. A lot of people struggle with compression,
especially on the low end sort of bassline type stuff.
Okay, yeah. I mean, when it comes to live bass, compression is almost essential. When it comes to synth bass, it's not always needed. It depends what's going on with the sounds. And so I think sometimes one of the most common things that I've seen over the years is people are feeling they need to compress the bass when it's a synth bass. And it's almost like this kind of urge that you've got to compress everything, but you don't always have to. certainly when it comes to electric bass, you know, real bass, there's more fluctuations in terms of the sound, so it needs a lot more control. But of course, you know, compression can equally be used for synth bass too. I think the key is to know when to use it and when not to use it. That's the whole thing with compression. So we can focus on synth compression stuff as we go. So, you know, the way I see this working is that after this sort of initial chat, what we'll do is I'll get you to go away and do some stuff over the next week or whatever. You know, there's no hurry. It's whenever you can fit it in, because, you know, it's quite tricky. I know it is for everybody if you're working, doing day jobs, to fit in the music. So whenever you can fit it in. But what I'd like you to do, Steve, is to kind of start off something and just try to sort of, don't even try to gear it towards anything for me. It's all about what you want to do. All right. So think about the kind of vibe that you want to go for musically and how you could best get stuff out of the sessions, you know. So if there are areas that you want to focus on, just kind of let me know as we go along. All right. Sure. So, you know, this, you know, what I hope for this is that we end up with a track, you know, that you can put out, and you know, it's going to be something where you've learned stuff as we go along. You know, that's the whole concept. So starting off, you know, maybe what do you usually start off with? Do you start off with beats?
Usually start with my drums, yeah.
Okay, and then what happens next usually for you?
Usually the bass line.
Okay, and is there a go-to synth or anything that you would head to, or is there a particular type of sound that you would go for?
I'm still playing around with a lot of different VSTs. Yeah, again, I always struggle with sort of what's the best one to go to, because my sound design skills are somewhat lacking. So I tend to find a preset and then try and adjust that preset to the main thing that I'm trying to look for. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not. That's
all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, even someone like myself, I'll often work with presets, you know, just for speed. It depends on my mood, really, you know, in terms of what I'm trying to do. But I found, you know, being someone who has to hold down a day job and also fit in the music, you know, speed is a really important thing, you know, in terms of trying to get stuff done.
Yeah, keep the flow going.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, well, you know, I've got things that I do, you know, techniques that I use to try to speed stuff up, and we could take a look at some of those as we go through. And we are going to be working we're working with Cubase, so that's what's happening. I'm just wondering, what version you're running with, Steve?
5.
Okay. So there may be, because I'm running on 6.5, there may be some issues in terms of sort of cross compatibility, but I can't see it being a big problem for us.
Okay.
Because we can send stuff back as MIDI, we could send the sounds between each other. It's going to be fine. All right.
Sure,
so we'll do it. Yep. And I will try to avoid using any stuff that is kind of 6 specific. So we'll see how it goes. I don't see it being a problem. So yeah, I mean, I'm really vibing on Cubase at the moment. You know, I have to work on different platforms, and so it's been really nice to come back to it. And everything I'm doing at the moment is in Cubase. So the last, well, the track Say Goodbye that I put out a few weeks back, that was done in Cubase. The thing that I'm putting out next, which is probably going to be the end of this week, is all in Cubase as well. You know, so it's I think, you know, you're into your soulful stuff, aren't you? Your sort of jazz and all that kind of house, and a real kind of quite eclectic mix of music, aren't you? So
very much so.
What sort of tune do you think you want to head for here?
I was thinking something under 120 BPM, maybe about 117. I'd like to try and attempt to do something more musical than I have in the past, but my general stuff I'm listening to at the moment tends to be quite dubby. All right. Yeah. I'll tell you, do you know what? Reverbs. Do you know one of the maddest things, right? One of my sort of big recommendations at the moment for people is, if you're struggling playing keyboard, get a mini keyboard, right? So the small keys. And essentially what happens is that you've got more space to be really dexterous with the keyboard. And I've been surprising myself at the amount of musical stuff that I've been coming out with, because I've been really focusing on a little MIDI. I've got this Akai. It's tiny. It's just like a 2-octave. I think it's called the MPK or something. Okay, yeah, I know the one.
Yeah. And I'm amazed at some of the things that I can come out with. And it's because it's very easy to see kind of like a scale. And then you sort of put your fingers on the keyboard and you just keep them there. And so you never have to go up or down really. You just sort of stay there and then just sort of play certain notes. And once you've found the notes that match, then you've got a choice of say 10 notes that you could vary between for all kinds of stuff. You know, maybe like little solos or riffs and stuff like that. And even though I haven't got small hands, I find it a lot easier to play on the small keyboard. So some of the people who are watching this, they might vibe on that. Maybe you will. I don't know.
I'm actually using an Oxygen 8 at the moment. So
that's full size, but what, 2 octave?
2 octave.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever tried playing bass lines? You've got an Akai pad, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried playing bass lines on the pads?
No.
I'd recommend it.
Okay. We can talk about that.
Yeah, because one of the things is that when you're focused on a keyboard with all the white and the black notes, it's almost like you can think a bit too much about it.
That's my problem.
Whereas the pads on a Akai MPD or whatever, or machine, they're anonymous. Yeah, so if you've got a bass line on it, maybe like a synth bass, a mono bass, then you can play literally the pads to create a bass line, and I found you come out with really different vibes. So it's definitely something that's worth trying. So see how you get on with that kind of a vibe. All right, so Steve, look, this first session is going to be brief. I'm going to stick a video up so that other people can watch it and get to know it. Hopefully you're cool with that sort of stuff. I want it to be quite an open process.
Sure, not a problem at all. I've not got a problem with putting myself out there like that.
I want people to see the benefits of collaborating and stuff, and I've got no idea what's going to happen with this. It's something that I've been thinking about for a long period of time, and discussions that I've had with people on my Facebook page and on Twitter and so on, and I thought it was about time to do something. So for me, it's really nice that I can carry on some of the stuff that I was doing at Point Blank, and the whole kind of educating and helping others kind of vibe, and I just want to see where this goes really. So
I think it's going to be really interesting, and I think if it helps anybody out, then it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, cool. All right, Steve. Well, look, I think that's going to be it for this session. So what I want you to do is to just knock up a beat, maybe 8 or 16 bars or so of the kind of vibe that you want to go for. And send me initially just the audio file, and what I want to do is I just want to check it out, just see if it's going to be good enough to work with, and then if there are things that I'm going to suggest to you, I'll just send them back to you. And then when we get to the point where it's going to be, you're going to send me the project, then I'll do another video. And so what I'll do is we'll go over I'll load your project, I'll go through stuff and make some comments there. And then maybe I'll add some stuff, and then I'll send it back to you. So we'll play sort of project tennis and see what happens. Yeah,
sounds like a plan.
All right, nice one, Steve. And,
lovely.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for the opportunity, Danny.
All right, no problem at all, mate. Okay. Cheers.
See you. Bye.